You think you know what's coming when Roman Reigns returns? You think you've got it all figured out? Wrong. Because while you've been sitting there predicting the same old storylines, Seth Rollins just dropped the most nuclear bombshell in WWE history, and it's going to make Roman's comeback look like child's play compared to what's brewing behind the scenes. I'm talking about Seth freaking Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah, the architect, the man who's been carrying WWE on his back while Roman was away, making a move so calculated, so absolutely insane, that it's going to flip everything you thought you knew about WWE's power structure upside down. And if you think bringing Brock Lesnar into his vision is just another alliance, you're about to get schooled on what real chess moves look like in professional wrestling. Let me paint you the picture that WWE doesn't want you to see. While everyone's been focused on when Roman Reigns is coming back, Seth Rollins has been quietly orchestrating the most brilliant long-term strategy we've seen since Triple H took over creative. This isn't just about preparing for Roman's return, this is about Seth positioning himself as the undisputed king of WWE, and he's using the one man who can legitimately challenge Roman Reigns' dominance to do it. Think about it, who's the only superstar on the roster who's never truly been conquered by Roman Reigns? Who's the one man that makes Tribal Chief Roman look mortal? Brock Lesnar. And now Seth Rollins, in a stroke of absolute genius, has managed to bring the beast incarnate into his fold. This isn't just an alliance, this is Seth weaponizing the most dangerous force in WWE history. But here's where it gets absolutely diabolical. Seth isn't just bringing Brock in as muscle, he's positioning himself as Brock's equal, as his strategic partner. For the first time in years, we're seeing Brock Lesnar actually listen to someone, actually engage in long-term planning instead of just showing up, destroying everyone, and disappearing for months. Seth has done what Paul Heyman couldn't even fully accomplish, he's made Brock Lesnar invested in a storyline that doesn't revolve around championship gold. The implications here are staggering. Roman Reigns built his entire tribal chief persona on being the undisputed head of the table, the man who runs WWE. But what happens when he returns to find that Seth Rollins has already claimed that throne, and he's got Brock Lesnar standing right beside him? What happens when Roman realizes that his acknowledgement means nothing if Seth and Brock refuse to give it? And let's talk about the psychological warfare Seth is playing here. He knows Roman better than anyone, they've been brothers, enemies, partners, rivals. Seth understands that Roman's biggest strength is also his biggest weakness, his need to be the guy. By aligning with Brock, Seth is telling Roman, you want to be the head of the table? You're going to have to go through the two men who have never backed down from you. But the most brilliant part of Seth's plan? He's not just preparing for Roman's return, he's preparing to make Roman irrelevant. Think about it, if Seth and Brock establish themselves as the dominant force while Roman's away, what's Roman coming back to? He'd be walking into their WWE, their landscape, their rules. The wrestling world is buzzing with speculation, but they're all missing the bigger picture. This isn't about Seth being afraid of Roman, this is about Seth making sure that when Roman returns, he returns to a WWE where Seth Rollins is already the established king, with Brock Lesnar as his enforcer. It's the ultimate power play, and it's happening right under our noses. And let's address the elephant in the room, the fans who think this makes Seth look weak, like he needs Brock to handle Roman. Those fans are completely missing the point. Seth isn't recruiting Brock because he's scared, he's recruiting Brock because he's smart. Why fight Roman alone when you can have the most destructive force in WWE fighting alongside you? That's not weakness, that's strategic brilliance. But here's what's really going to blow your mind. Sources close to the situation suggest that this alliance between Seth and Brock isn't just about Roman. They're looking at the bigger picture, at becoming the power structure that controls all of WWE. We're talking about Seth using his political acumen and Brock using his legitimate fighting credentials to essentially become the unofficial board of directors of professional wrestling. The timing of this couldn't be more perfect. Roman's absence has created a power vacuum, and instead of just keeping his seat warm, Seth is expanding the throne. He's not just maintaining the status quo, he's building an empire that Roman might not be able to reclaim when he returns. And can we talk about how this completely changes Brock Lesnar's character? For years, Brock has been the special attraction, the part-timer who shows up for big matches and big paydays. But Seth has managed to make him a regular presence, a consistent threat. This version of Brock Lesnar, the one who's actively invested in storylines and character development, is more dangerous than any version we've seen before. The wrestling purists might complain about this alliance, but they're missing the forest for the trees. This is exactly the kind of long-term storytelling that WWE has been criticized for lacking. Seth isn't just reacting to circumstances, he's creating them. He's not waiting for Roman to return and dictate the terms of their rivalry, he's setting those terms himself. What makes this even more compelling is the history between all three men. Seth and Roman were Shield brothers who became bitter enemies. Seth and Brock have a complicated history of mutual respect and devastating matches. Roman and Brock have this ongoing saga of who's the real alpha. Now Seth is inserting himself into the Roman-Brock dynamic in a way that makes him the central figure. The psychology here is absolutely masterful. Seth knows that Roman's greatest fear isn't losing, it's being overshadowed, being made to look secondary. By aligning with Brock, Seth is forcing Roman into a position where he might have to choose between his pride and his practical chances of success when he returns. And let's be real about something else, this alliance makes perfect sense from Brock's perspective too. Brock has always been about competition, about facing the best challenges. What better challenge than helping Seth build something that even the tribal chief might not be able to tear down? This gives Brock something he's never really had before, a lasting legacy in WWE beyond just individual matches. The ripple effects of this alliance are going to be felt throughout the entire roster. Every superstar is going to have to choose sides. Are you with Seth and Brock's new order, or are you waiting for Roman to return and restore the old hierarchy? This is going to force character development and storyline progression across the entire WWE landscape. But here's the kicker, what if this is all part of an even bigger plan? What if Seth and Brock are positioning themselves not just to face Roman, but to create a situation where Roman has to join them? What if this is about creating a triumvirate so powerful that it controls all of WWE? The Shield reunion we never saw coming, but with Brock Lesnar replacing Dean Ambrose, the business implications alone are staggering. Seth and Brock together represent the perfect blend of pure athleticism, storytelling ability, and mainstream appeal. They're positioning themselves to be the faces of WWE not just creatively, but commercially. This could reshape how WWE approaches its biggest storylines and biggest stars. This is why Seth Rollins has always been called the architect. He doesn't just adapt to the game, he redesigns it entirely. While everyone else has been playing checkers, Seth has been playing three-dimensional chess, and bringing Brock Lesnar into his vision might be the checkmate move that nobody saw coming. So when Roman Reigns finally makes his return, he won't be walking back into the WWE he left. He'll be entering Seth Rollins' WWE, with Brock Lesnar standing as Seth's equal partner in this new world order. The question isn't whether Roman can reclaim his throne, it's whether there will still be a throne left to reclaim. What do you think about Seth's masterstroke? Is this the smartest move in WWE history, or is Seth biting off more than he can chew by bringing Brock into the equation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is just the beginning of what's going to be the most explosive period in WWE history. And if you think you know how this is going to play out, think again, because Seth Rollins just changed all the rules.